This is Capital Games, I am The Wiz, and this is the Weekly Dividend for Friday, May 4th, 2023. Today, I am playing a game I've been wanting to play for a while, and this is Tunic. This came out last year. It got a lot of really good reviews. It's supposed to be a cross between Zelda and Fez, apparently, so I might get confused at some points during this, but we'll see when that happens. In regards to news, I don't think the fair thing to say it's been light. There has been some decent stories, but it's been dominated by one story. And of course, I covered that on Wednesday regarding the really bad launch of Redfall. But I think we're going to get into more of what happened because Phil Spencer went on the XCast podcast from Kinda Funny and said a lot of things that I think need to be discussed. So let's start a new game of Tunic right here, and I will get down to the nitty-gritty on what was being discussed with Phil Spencer from that podcast. Again, this is from the Kinda Funny XCast podcast. So if you want to hear the audio of that, I believe there is probably the feed on there that you can check out to see what he said exactly. But these excerpts are from VGC. And this is from the Kinda Funny XCast podcast. So, first off, Phil Spencer apologizes for the disappointing launch of Redfall. Says Arcane will continue to work on and fix the game moving forward. Spencer says the lackluster reviews were unexpected, since mock reviews done eternally suggested a much higher rating. And also said that delaying the game would not have solved the biggest issues regarding Redfall. Yeah, so let's break this down a little bit here. First off, him apologizing, said that Arcane is going to work on fixing the game. That's expected at this point, especially since no one really bought the game. I'm going to assume no one really bought the game. I think that a lot of people played on Game Pass, didn't like it, and then I think that's it. A lot of people are just not going to bother with the game after that. So, in regards to getting like a community that is going to care about what happens with Redfall, unless there is a drastic change and it gets people to want to try it again, I think this is it for Redfall. It might get a small, dedicated community later on down the road when everything is fixed, but I think that's it. I mean, look at some games that didn't end up very well in the beginning, but okay, that didn't end up well in the beginning, and they started working on it. Did it gain like hundreds of thousands of followers? Maybe with the exception of like Final Fantasy XIV. No, not really. It just kind of died. No one cared. So, oh, I got a twig. How about that? So how do I... Okay. No. There we go. Okay, well, I'm gonna get a twig. That's nice. See, I don't see the sales of this improving, really. Or not even just the sales, but the player count improving. Unless it does... What's this? Oh, lock-on. Unless they really drastically improve it, and then they really advertise more as to what's been improved and why you want to come back to playing Redfall, I think this is it. I don't think we're going to hear a huge story about, oh, how people are coming back to Redfall. I don't see that happening. So, yeah, it's nice, and I guess for the people who might have bought it, which I don't know why you would have, but for those who bought it on PC and were not happy and did not refund it for whatever strange reason, I guess they're going to be kind of happy, but honestly, I don't think this is going to be a game that people are going to be... Oh my god, what is up with this guy? He's kicking my ass. is I don't think this is going to lead to any more success coming the way of Redfall. I think this is going to be a fairly dead game, and maybe in about 3 years it will be officially scrapped. Maybe. Unless they really do some drastic changes and they get like a dedicated following to it. I mean, if I remember Sea of Thieves, the Rare game, the reviews weren't that hot for that game, but it built its game up to a point where it got a dedicated following, and it's still running to this day. So, could it be possible that Redfall gets that? Maybe. I don't see it, though. The reviews I have read, and from people that I've talked to that have played the game, have said that there are some major flaws in this game. And even though it... Okay. Sure, okay. Even though... Even though maybe they find some parts of it enjoyable, it's not a good game. It's okay at best, but there are some major issues. Things I've heard from some people are that the grind to get to a certain level to get your ultimate is way off. And if you are playing this solo, it's best not to bother, because a lot of the special powers are made to be done co-op. So I don't really know what they're thinking is going to improve here, and if they're actually going to get a lot of people back. I think at this point it's done. It's fairly over on this one. In regards to... He mentioned mock reviews. Now, mock reviews are a practice that have been done in the gaming industry for a while now. What they do is they hire somebody outside... Well, what I thought they did was they hired somebody outside the company to play the game, and then do a report as to what they think the reviews might be when the reviewers get a hold of the game at that time. Now, why I say this, because I thought it was done externally, because Phil Spencer said specifically they did internal mock reviews, and that can be a problem. And the reason why is because if it's an internal review, that the person that's reviewing the game within Microsoft has a vested interest to be as positive as possible for that game. I mean, do you want to be the person that whose friends have or whose coworkers have been making a game for 5 years and be the one person to say, hey, your game kind of sucks, actually? You're probably going to get like a 60 at best? No, you don't want to be that. You'll be very unpopular, and it'll probably be very uncomfortable working there. So yeah, am I surprised that the reviews that they had internally are wildly different? No, not at all. And that's kind of why you don't do internal reviews. You want to have somebody outside of the company who has no vested interest in your company being successful or being a failure to do those reviews. From what I recall, I remember stories when Jeff Gerstmann was still doing the Arrow Pointed Down podcast. This is before they made Giant Bomb, and in between when he got fired from GameSpot, that he started doing mock reviews on the side for cash. And he would talk about the process and what you had to do with that in regards with that. But he wouldn't say for who, for good reason. He probably had an NDA. But yeah, it just, to me, it just seems like he said it was internal. What I'm getting out of it is that it was someone who worked at Microsoft who was hired to do that mock review. And I think that in itself is a major flaw that I think needs to be corrected big time. With that, to me, honestly, if I can't find a mock reviewer or a person who used to review games who just does these professionally, I would go to a place that does analytics, or not even just analytics, but I forget the term, but people that basically guide businesses and business owners to consultants. Oh God. I would go into a consultancy firm that specializes in video game production and stuff like that, and hire somebody to do a mock review there. That way, you pay them the money, they get whatever they want out of it, and then and then after that, they give the review, and that's it. It's done. Their vested interest is they got paid. They get paid regardless of how the review is or not, and that's it. You have the review, you have what you're expecting, and then you make your changes from there. That's what I think that you should do. This internal one where you have somebody who has an invested interest in this game succeeding, doing a mock review, it's gonna skew the results to a degree, and I think it skewed the results here, that they'll want it to succeed. Because, again, you don't want to be the person who works there saying to your coworker, yo, the game you worked on sucks. You just don't want that. So for that reason, I am not surprised that the mock reviews are a little bit different than what they were suggesting. Okay, and I think there was one more here. Oh, yeah. Delays. I really find this funny. Delays would not have solved the biggest issues. I mean, if you know your game sucks and there are key problems with the actual game design, that might be true. But I think delaying it another year probably would have helped somewhat. Maybe fix the issues where there's a lot of empty space, or maybe retool the balancing of the game. Maybe it wouldn't have completely changed the entire game in a year. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it wouldn't have changed the game in an entire year, but to say that it wouldn't have changed anything, I kind of have to say I don't believe that for a second. What's this? Huh. So the instructions in the game are also in this arcane language. Interesting. Game is cute though. But yeah, I don't get what he's saying. I think he's dodging, honestly, on this, where he's, oh yeah, delaying it wouldn't have helped. I'm like, yes it would have. Stop it. It's like, just stop it. Like, oh man. Now, unless he's admitting that the design of the game itself was so flawed that a year's delay wouldn't have helped, then at that point, maybe take the bones of the game, scrap it, and then make something different with it. I know that's not another thing that you need right now, is to cancel a game that was kind of anticipated. But at this point, if you knew that a delay or that the game itself had a huge problem, I think at this point you'd want to change certain aspects of it. But then again, I mean, there must have been a lot of money tied up to this game and they had to release it, so I don't know. I find that the things that Phil Spencer is saying to be, I think disingenuous is the wrong term, but I guess lacking. I just, I listened to that and went, come on. A delay wouldn't have helped. All right, whatever. But yeah. But Phil Spencer let me beat these monsters real quick. Okay, here we go. Where do these coins do anything interesting? Okay, so he said more during the podcast. Yeah, so he apologized for disappointing results. Xbox failed to deliver on its promises from last year's Xbox Game Showcase, says Spencer. He says he doesn't want to oversell this year's showcase, but he's excited to show off what's going to be announced at the showcase, and expects new games from updates. Okay, and he says to expect new games and updates from games that were already announced. And he says that things are finally on track to release big quality games every quarter after issues arose during the pandemic. Now, to be fair to him, okay, every company had an issue during the pandemic. So I wouldn't say that he's making an excuse as to why they're having so many problems with the pandemic. That's certainly possible. But the amount of issues that they've had is staggering at times. So I don't think any other company has had so many problems as Microsoft has with this. Okay. There we go. Got another instruction manual here. I guess what this language does, I'm going to guess what this game does with language, is that you earn these letters, and then when you earn them, secrets are revealed to you as the game goes on. Otherwise, it's kind of silly to put the instruction manual as part of this language. It's kind of weird. Okay. But yeah, as for not delivering what was on the showcase last year, to be fair, and maybe my memory is a little different, they didn't show much in the showcase last year. Uh-oh. Like, I thought the showcase was good, but I think the most memorable announcement, well, there was the Starfield trailer that they showed that was kind of and then the Persona games were coming to Xbox on Game Pass. Those are the things I remember from that showcase. The rest of them, kind of fuzzy, to be absolutely honest. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, this definitely has a neat kind of Zelda feel to it that I actually really like. Like, this is... It's cute, too. And if you're not hearing the music, the ambient music is really good. Oh, enemies can kill each other. Okay. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Hero's Grave. What's in here? Okay. See, on that note, like, this is interesting, like, in that way, because it definitely reminds me of Zelda a little bit. And I like old school. I like 2D Zelda a lot. I'm not so much a fan of the 3D Zeldas, but the 2D Zeldas, oh, I love them. All right, here we go. What's this? Whatever that is. Okay, I gotta get used to that. Okay, and basically, next thing he says is he's pimping out the next showcase. Thinks people are gonna be really excited. Of course, he's gonna say that. He's not gonna say, yeah, you know, the next showcase is probably not gonna be as hot either. So that's not, that's nothing different. And then says that they're finally on track to release quality games every quarter. I mean, yeah, I hope so. I mean, to be fair, too, Sony isn't entirely doing that. Neither is Nintendo. So he's kind of giving himself a lofty goal, which, you know, I don't think it's a great idea right now. Like, I would just say expect, like me, I expect some great games coming throughout the year. I would be more vague than that. Instead of saying every quarter, like every 3 months, you should expect a great game. Like, I don't know about that. So I don't think tactically that was a smart idea, but good on him, I guess. Like, honestly, I got a lot of issues with the messaging here with this, but we'll okay, interesting. But we'll get into that as time goes on here. Let me do a little more here. This game is gorgeous, by the way. Oh, man. What are you? Oh, you look mean. Oh, my God, they have swords. No. Not good. Come on, man. I got a stick. What the hell? Okay. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's not good. I lost all my gold. It's kind of like Sonic. Okay, and the last thing he said was, just making great games won't change the Xbox console market share, says Spencer. He says that Microsoft is using a different strategy based on letting gamers interface with Xbox in any screen. Quoting from him, there isn't a great solution or win for us. It says that the Xbox One's disastrous performance is still hurting to this day. Claims that people are attached to where their digital library is, and a lot of people have it on PlayStation. Quoted from him, I see a lot of the pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs, and every new generation was a clean slate, and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we live in today. There is no world where Starfield is an 11 out of 10, and people will start selling their PS5s. That is not going to happen. To be fair to him, this is all true. The way that the market is designed now is that you want people to be attached to your system, and the best way to attach them to your system is digital games. Why do all these companies well, first off, when they have their membership programs for having online, when really it shouldn't cost much to do it, why do they have that? Why do they give out free games with that too? Because they want you attached to their system. So you don't turn around and go, oh, I'm going to sell my PS5 now because there's nothing that I like that is interesting, so I'm going to sell. Well, no, you're not going to sell it now because then you have no access to all the free games that you have or the games that you bought digitally. You're going to keep your system now. Oh, boy. Oh, that's interesting. So, on that note, yes, he's absolutely right. Like, that's not going to change things. But on the other hand, a criticism that I kind of have here, that even though I'm no Xbox fanboy or fanboy of any system, is, okay, Phil, what's the plan? It's like, what are you guys doing? What's the plan here? What are you going to do to fix the situation? And on that, and with people who are, and you know, I hate the console wars as much as any right-minded person. But to be fair, also, people are not like me, where I buy every system. They buy one. They look at which is better, PlayStation or Microsoft, and I guess I'll get that one that looks neat. And when they pick the one that they realize isn't releasing that many great games, they get upset. And that's completely understandable. It is completely understandable to get upset by the fact that the console that you chose to spend $500, $600 on is not cutting it. Like, that is perfectly reasonable to me. So, and to hear him say, oh yeah, you know, just making great games ain't gonna help. Well, what will? Like, what exactly will help? Like, I don't, like, again, he is right to a certain extent. Like, just making a good game is not going to help in this situation. But what will? I mean, what do you have to do? What are your plans to do that? Is it to grow out the entire infrastructure that you have so you can play it anywhere on tablets, phones, things like that, and grow that out to where it is viable to play on those types of systems? Are you going to utilize PC a lot better? Are you going to, instead of having your own Xbox thing, are you going to partner with Steam to have Game Pass on Steam? Are you going to do something like that? Are you going to do partnerships? What are you going to do? What is the solution here? Because this is the last story with in regards to Phil Spencer when he said, but again, I did a thing on Wednesday where basically saying, should Phil Spencer be stepping down? And originally when I did that, I thought they would come off as a little harsh because people do like Phil Spencer, and they like the fact that in the Xbox One and everything, he was pretty honest about what was going on, and that he was doing a lot of customer facing, a lot of good things with customers. Oh my God, what the hell? Oh, I'm going to get creamed by this thing. He was being honest, and he was being forthright with his customers, and the customers appreciate it at that point. But at some point, it's now been, 8 years? 9 years, I think? It might be longer. But at some point, you have to come up with a solution. Something that people can say, okay, they're on the right track. We got to give them time, so let's just let them do what they got to do. And right now, all I'm hearing is not even just excuses, just placations. Go, yeah, we screwed up. Yeah, I know. No, that's not really gonna work, But Sony just kicked our ass last generation. What are we gonna do? I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you bought this for $500. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know it sucks. I know, I'm sorry. My God, I'm sorry. It's just God, man. No wonder Xbox fans are getting pissed. All they're hearing from you and the people that run your company and is I'm sorry. Yes, we messed up. Yes, we did all these things. Yes, it's great that you acknowledge them. What are you going to do about it? It's I think that's the most important thing, to come up with solutions as to what you're going to do to correct the situation. And no one's hearing any of that. All they're hearing is the same things. I'm sorry. We had a rough time last generation. We're doing X. What are you doing to rectify this? And yes, just trying to build up the console, I kind of agree with some that say that consoles probably will be less important next generation. I think that consoles will likely be the least important, not the least, but one of the, maybe not as important as it has been in other generations, that they're going to start doing more with services around that time. That might be possible. You might see next generation a completely cloud-based console, a version of the console that let's say the Xbox Series X or the S is $250. I would not be surprised if a cloud-based version of the new console comes out and it's $100. Yeah, that would not surprise me. So then what is your plan at this point? And this is why I think it might be time for him to step down. Because if you're the guy that is just known for saying, I'm sorry, placating, oh yeah, we love our customers, we're doing all these nice things, this and that. I mean, that only goes so far, and now it's time to put up. Or shut up at this point. And the more I think about it now, I think it is time for Phil Spencer to step down. I think it's just that time now. It just seems like they have no plan going into this. Or the plan was that, Halo Infinite and all these other games that we got from these studios are going to help sell these consoles. And it hasn't happened. I'm getting my ass kicked. And it just hasn't happened. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say on this. I think new leadership is what's needed here in this. I made the suggestion that maybe a thing to do is to hire somebody that will deal with the studios on Phil Spencer's behalf. I'm going to take that back. I think it's time for him to go. I think it's time. And, for what he did during the Xbox One, he was good. I mean, that was good, but you need something more at this point. And I don't think Phil Spencer has it. It's harsh. It's harsh. I will admit that. But what are you gonna do at this point? You're just gonna keep apologizing for things that happened in the past? It's time. I really do think... No, I don't want to be here. It's time. Okay, so we're going to get into the next story. Hogwarts Legacy... This is for sales numbers. A lot of sales numbers were released throughout the week. Hogwarts Legacy tops 15 million in sales worldwide. Grossed over 1 billion in sales for that one game alone on the... And this is just for the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series, and the PS5. CEO in charge of streaming and gaming says that the Switch release in particular is important due to its sizable base, and I agree. I think that the old versions, the PS4 and Xbox One versions of that game are came out today, I think. And I've said that will probably give it another million in sales when all is said and done. And reports I'm hearing right now is that the ports of that game are pretty good. It's locked in 30, but it's still, there's no hiccups, there's no frame stutters, there's no problems with the game at all. It runs fine. So with that, it's like, great. Like, you have a good port of that game. So people who have those systems and want it are going to be quite happy with that if they don't have the new systems. Now, with that said, I mean, the Switch port still could have problems, but it's looking like that the place that are making these games know how to port their games. So, in that instance, I think the Switch might get another 3 or 4 million, maybe more if I'm really thinking about it. So, yeah, this could be big. Like, me and Zero, before Zero left, debated on whether it would be Tears of the Kingdom or Hogwarts Legacy that would probably get the most sales. I think we went Tears at that time, but I'm starting to think it's probably going to be Hogwarts. Like, Hogwarts is probably going to be the biggest selling game of the year. I think, at least. So, yeah. Oh, it'll be interesting to see what happens from there. But I expect it to get more sales. Research firm Newzoo reveals it claims as to what the top-selling PC and console games were for Q1 and 2023, with Hogwarts Legacy topping the charts in the PC in both countries and on the console in US. I think FIFA 23 topped the consoles in the UK. Again, not really a surprise here. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy is, I guess, it's huge. And it's probably going to... I wouldn't be surprised if Hogwarts Legacy is like number 2 in the next quarter. Because the only thing that's coming out is Tears of the Kingdom. And because it's around that E3 or Summer Games Fest time, not a lot of new games are going to come out that are going to be big. So I would not be surprised if Hogwarts Legacy is number 2 in the charts next quarter. It might be number 1 because the new versions of it coming out. But I think it will be number 2. So, yeah, not a surprise there. Let's see if I can take this guy out. Uh-oh. Yeah. I gotta get better at this combat. Game's kind of tough, actually. Huh. You're there. I suck. Which is also a possibility. The second biggest box launch in the UK was Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which was only topped by Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, okay. The Star Wars game got a lot of sales. Star Wars is a brand that even if the game is pretty bad, it still sells pretty well. So that's not a surprise. I know that people have had performance issues, but with the console version, I haven't heard much. That I recall, at least. I heard all the issues being on PC, specifically. So, I'm going to get creamed. Oh, boy. Okay. Man, is there ways to boost your health in this? Good lord. I'm gonna get creamed. Uh-oh. Of course, of course. Okay, moving on. Niantic denies that Pokemon Go's earnings have dropped to a 5-year low. App Store analytics firm AppMagic claimed that April's monthly global revenue was $34.7 million, claiming it was down from March at $42.8 and from February at $57.9. According to a representative from Niantic, our revenue is up from last year. We do not focus on month-to-month trends because they fluctuate based on major life events. So notice how they didn't say that the numbers specifically weren't down from those 3 months. But that being said, I mean, they could be telling the truth. Maybe? I'm not entirely sure how to take this, to be absolutely honest, because I don't know of any jailbroken games that have access to the App Store. I don't. I'm gonna guess that AppMagic is probably true to a certain extent, but again, Niantic does have a point. Month-to-month trends when it comes to mobile games is kind of squirrely, especially with something like Pokemon Go, where it involves you being outside and doing your thing outside. Like that is a possibility. So I'm gonna give Niantic the benefit of the doubt. I'm getting my ass kicked. Oh man. Yes, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. They may be completely correct, but now that this is a story and they've commented, we're probably gonna hear a lot of reports as to what their sales were when they actually give the numbers out. So we will find out. I'm gonna guess that Niantic's probably correct on this, but we'll see. Oh my god. Why am I... no! This game is cute, and it actually controls very well, but it is kicking my ass. Uh-oh. I guess this is kind of a soul... everything's a Souls-like nowadays. Oh my god. Okay, gotta move. Uh-oh. I killed him! Alright. Now what? Now what? I have to get a sword at some point, right? I'm not gonna have this twig throughout the entire time. Where do we go here? Okay. Okay, moving on. Capcom says their sales target for Street Fighter 6 is 10 million units. Street Fighter 5, as of this date, have sold 7. If the word of mouth, when it releases, that it is fantastic and it doesn't have the issues that 5 did, which it looks like that is going to be the case, I can see it making about 12 million. So I think 10 is a decent measurement to go by with this. So yeah, I agree. I think, yes, I get a sword. Thank God. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to quit this. Wait a minute. I could have healed that entire time? Ugh. Okay. So let's... sword. There we go. Cuddy. There we go. And then I can probably do more damage. Alright. We're progressing, boys. But yeah, like 10 million, I think, is a reasonable number, especially since it's going to all consoles, except for Switch, of course. But it's going to pretty much all consoles, and it's going to PC. So I think 10 million is a good number. I think it will reach more. But in that case, like, I think this is going to be a big hit for Capcom, unless there happens to be a major issue when it releases. But other than that, I think this is the return of Street Fighter as not only a hardcore fighting game, but for casuals as well, because Mortal Kombat has had the casual fighting game on lock at this point. But I think they're doing the right things here with 6 to make it even bigger and something more interesting for more casual players than the previous one did. Okay, that does a lot more damage, so I can take care of that guard captain then. Alright. Let's take care of this Folio. Alright. Alright, before I go in and try and slay the captain, this next one is Battle Passes and Microtransactions. Destiny 2 raises the price of its Season Pass. It will cost 1,200 silver for standard, 2,200 silver for premium. What this means is that if you want to purchase it, it's not going to... You can't make a one-time purchase. So what you do is you have to purchase the silver in order to purchase the pass. So before that, you had to buy, I think it was $10, and you would get the pass. You get the silver, and then you get the pass. This time, you have to spend $15 to get the 1,200 amount of silver. Even though a silver in itself is just, I believe it's like 100 silver per dollar. But because the increments are all in 5s, I think at this point you have to purchase more of that silver in order to actually get the pass. So in essence, like, you're spending $15 to spend 12 in this, which is what I hate about when free-to-play games and games like that do this. Where, oh yeah, it's technically 12, but you need to spend 15 in order to actually access it. So, like, it's awful. I hate that. Are they adding anything to it that is different? No, they're not. They're saying they need this for service costs and to help maintain the game to be the quality that the players expect, which honestly is just bullshit. Like, I hate to be cynical, but it's just kind of bullshit to me. It sounds more like we have these people who will buy it regardless, so yeah, why don't we just charge more? That's what it sounds like to me. Oh boy, I probably should have gotten more life beforehand. Okay. Well, I got the sword, which is what matters. Okay. Let's try and beat that guard captain. A lot of achievements in this game. I wonder if I hold the X button. No, nothing happens. Okay. So yeah, this is a common tactic that a lot of free-to-play games use, where they say, oh, it's just $5, but you need to spend 10 to get the silver, so, you know, like, ugh. I hate that business practice so much. It's what turns me off to a lot of those free-to-play games. If you want to just charge $5, charge fucking $5 at this point. But to make someone say, "Oh, it's 10 technically," but you have to spend 20 in order to get the currency in order to buy it, and like I fucking hate it. But it works because guess what? People still buy them. So yeah, fucking terrible. Okay. I think I've been here before since the chest is already opened. Let's move on to the next one here. Lego 2K Drive Pass is detailed. Will be 4 seasons long all year, and the seasons won't expire, which is good news. So, like, if you buy this Drive Pass, and let's say you buy the Drive Pass, and you get the game Christmas, and 2 seasons are already finished. That doesn't mean you lose those 2 seasons. You just can go ahead and grind at your own pace and do whatever you want from that point, which is great. I wish more games that do these these passes would do this. I mean, like I've talked about before, Gwent does this. Gwent has a bunch of season passes and stuff, but they don't... Ugh, God. But they don't gate you in time as to how long you have to actually get all the items. You can get those items at your own pace, which to me is like, I paid for the damn pass, so I should just be able to get it, regardless if of the time it takes me to do it. So yeah, I like that practice. That's a good practice. I like. I don't hate or like the battle pass. I hate how it's implemented at times, but this I like. I like that they are making it more flexible for people, because also Lego 2K Drive is going to be something that I think more kids are going to play and more families. So if you get that and little Timmy is not fast enough to get everything, it's good that he's not going to lose all of that. So that's smart. Oh my God. Okay. We will move on. And this one is announcements, release dates, and cancellations. Pokemon Trading Card Game Live will release in June. So the Pokemon card game online client is shutting down, I believe, this month. I played with that a bit. The issue I had with it, really, is, and this is going to sound weird, there was no way to buy packs unless you bought the physical packs. Now, my nephew at the time was big into Pokemon cards, but he didn't play the game. He just liked the designs and the way they looked. So for a period of time, I was like, why don't you try to play the game? And we would use the online thing to try and see if he can learn how to play the game. It did stick, but I don't think card games are his thing. But he does like Pokemon. I know that. Like any young kid. Oh my God. Are you serious? But the client was interesting. So, again, the only way you could get cards or get packs in the game was to, I think, you had to earn a currency throughout the game, playing computer players and other players to get, in order to get packs, which is fine. That's fine, no problem with that. But if you wanted to get more packs than that, you actually had to go to the store, purchase the packs there, the physical packs, open the pack. And then with the cards that you got with it were a little code. It was a QR code and a 15-letter code as well, where you would type it in to the client, and then it would give you another pack. It would give you a pack digitally. Which, on the one hand, to me, that's neat. That's interesting for games that are based on real-world trading card games. That's great. But on the other hand, if you wanted to get a better group of people, or a bigger amount of people to play the game, you got to give them more options to play digitally. Because now I think a lot of people are playing those card games digitally, which I think upset a lot of people who, I think Magic Arena was the one that really, I think Magic Arena at this point, more people play it online than they play in person. Which a lot of diehard Magic fans were not happy with, but that's just the reality of it. It's more convenient. So that does not surprise me. And I think the Pokemon Company realized this, and instead of, I guess, reworking that old client, and that was an old client too. It looked fine, but it was pretty old. But instead of just reworking that entire client, they're going to shut down that client and then rebranded as Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And they haven't gotten to detail, I think, as to how that system will work. But my guess is they're going to probably go the route of Magic the Gathering Arena. Let's see if I can take care of this guy. Okay. Uh-oh. No, I almost got him! Oh, no. Oh, I forget I have a healing potion. What am I doing? Oh. Alright. There we go. I keep forgetting I have a healing potion. Alright. Let's keep going here. Okay, so next story. Okay, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered gets a standalone release on PS5. No, you're not crazy. I thought they did this before too, but apparently they haven't. The only way you could have gotten Spider-Man Remastered on PS5 was if you purchased Spider-Man Miles Morales and got the Deluxe Edition, or when you didn't get the Deluxe Edition, like I did, I got my PS5 as a bundle. It came with Miles Morales, but in order to get that version that had Spider-Man Remastered, you had to purchase it separately for, I think, $20. Oh, thank God. Yeah, come here, Folio. There we go. There we go. All right. And what do I do here? Okay. That's interesting. Open sesame. Okay. Could have used that before. So 2 of them. That's neat. But now I'm in a room where there are stairs, and I'm betting there is an item that I could get that can make me climb those rocks. I think I might play this for gameplay for the segments for next week. I'm still debating on what I was going to play, but I think I'm going to start doing more of this, 'cause this game's fun. Squish, 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 squish. There we go. Okay, let us move on to the next story here. Biomutant coming to Switch. Why? It's now, what, 2 years old now? It might have done all right in sales, but people's impressions of the game were not great. It didn't do well critically. I don't know many people who are fans of Biomutant. I don't understand the need to port this to Switch. Why? That's my take on it. Why? Why are we doing this? Like, I should have looked up the sales for Biomutant, and I didn't. But, like, the most I can say about Biomutant coming to Switch really is just why. I mean, if I recall correctly, too, Biomutant didn't run very well on current consoles. Didn't they also have issues on PC on top of that? Like, it did not run well. So I don't know if, unless they did a ton of work on the Switch version, and then they realized, oh, we put so much time and work in this, we have to release this, right? Like, other than that, like, I don't see why you're releasing this. I don't think anyone cares. But yeah, Biomutant coming to Switch, I guess. Marvel's Midnight Suns canceled its Switch port. This is not a surprise. Marvel's Midnight Suns did not do very well sales-wise. And it came out on Xbox Series X and S. It came out on PS5. It came out on PC. I got the PC version. I liked the gameplay of it, but I thought the story stuff was just awful. I thought it was so bad. But, yeah. Anyway, what's this? But yeah, I thought, like, the story stuff was just bad. Like, like, the dialogue and stuff for the Persona stuff was just terrible. I Oh God, I tried to skip that so much. It was so terrible. But the gameplay was good. But what I will say though is, as I was playing it, I played it on a PC. I don't have the beefiest PC, but it's good. It's a good PC. That game slowed down in certain aspects. Like, when you're in battles and they start doing the crazy effects for certain moves, the game would chug. And for a tactical game that is turn-based, that was weird. I was like, that's not good. And when I remember hearing that there was a switchport coming out, I'm like, what are they going to do to it? Like, that sounds terrible. Like, the game on PC doesn't run well. I haven't heard many people who've played it on Xbox and PS5 say it runs particularly great. So I was curious about what that was going to be like, and my guess was that it was just not up to snuff, and they would have to put more time and work into it, and they just said, you know what? It didn't sell very well. Let's just cancel it. And that might be the right move. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Really? This is not good. Wow. Okay. All right. So what does this do? What does this do? Oh, it's a bomb. Oh, man. Good to know, I guess. Ugh. And finally, the last story today is that the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom leaked 2 weeks early. Yeah, so if you're out there, you probably know this by now, but if you're out there and you don't want to get spoiled, you might want to put certain search terms on Twitter to be blocked so you don't get to see any of that stuff. Probably stay away from forums for a little bit if you don't want to get spoiled. But yeah, it is interesting that Kotaku decided to cover the leak and where to find it. Man, yeah, it's pretty fucking petty. They're going down anyway. Yeah, on the one hand, I kind of have to respect Kotaku for being like, you know what, then fine. You want to know where to get the leaked copies? Here you go, guys. Like, wow, okay. But that will probably cut their nose off to spite their face, because at that point, then other developers will look at that and go, yeah, we're not working with Kotaku anymore. But then again, I don't even remember a Kotaku review that really did any traction, except for the Xbox Series X one, where the person complained that because Trump was president, that we shouldn't have the Xbox Series X. Or was that the PS5 one? No, the Xbox Series X, that was the PS5 one. The Xbox Series X one was the one where the person was a tryptophobe, and that's the one that's afraid of holes, I think, and thought that it was irresponsible of Xbox and Microsoft to have something out there that could trigger tryptophobes. Which, okay, sure, I guess. That's interesting. Kind of crazy, but interesting. I'm not saying that tryptophobes are crazy, but I think Kotaku is just, yeah, I've said my piece on Kotaku. we'll just keep it there. Oh my God. Like, what does this do? Oh, okay. Makes sense. Could that do it? I did it again. God damn it. All right. Okay, so that was the final story of this week. All told, a light week, but with Redfall and Phil Spencer's, talks about what happened with Redfall, I mean, that took a big chunk of what to talk about. For next week, obviously, I'm going to do sales projections for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on Wednesday. I'll come up with a story to do on Monday. Weekly Dividends on Friday, of course. For the movie channel, me and Zero are going to review Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters, directed by Paul Schrader. It looks like an interesting movie, and I am looking forward to checking that out. And then Thursday, I'm going to review with Kim Always Be My Maybe. I have never heard of this film, although I do like the actors who are in it, so I'm kind of interested. And Kim wanted what was the thing? She wanted something good. So hopefully that is up to her liking. But we will see on that. Oh, dynamite. Okay. Let me see if I can take care of this. Okay. Cool. Uh-oh. I guess they don't have enough attack damage. Oh, I'm dead. Yep, I'm dead. Okay, guys. Well, that is it for the Weekly Dividend for Friday, May 4th, 2023. If you have stories that you think I should cover during the Weekly Dividend, or if you have suggestions of things you want to talk about, questions, stuff like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments and the videos as well. Or you can email at zerowizcast@gmail.com. But until then, this is the Weekly Dividend, and this is Capital Games. I am the Wiz. Talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to this podcast segment. The Capital Games podcast is done every week, and we post it on all your favorite podcast apps, as well as segments on YouTube. If you want to listen to another segment, you can listen to a new one right there on the screen. We also do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. If you'd like, you can go ahead and click on that and see all the movies that we have reviewed from that point. Thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.